What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Journey Podcast. I know I haven't dropped an episode, probably by the time this drops, 2 or 3 weeks. Just been super busy and working on my other podcast, which is a sports podcast with basketball and football. It's called Getting Technical. On YouTube, Getting Technical Podcast, Spotify, Apple, all that. So check that out. We post our clips on TikTok, Instagram. So that one's fun. It's just a little different vibe than, the Journey. But today I have a really cool guest on that I think you guys will really enjoy his story and his journey. He's a football guy. I'm not going to say his name yet, but he should be joining soon. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Me and him have been talking about this for a little while now, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with the school he attended for junior college, Independence Community College, which was school from Last Chance U, also known as Dream U. So I'm going to start this up now, and let's see if he's in. Yo.
What's going on, bro?
It's good. How you doing, man?
Chilling, man. How you doing?
I'm good, bro.
Good. I'm glad we finally got to be able to do this, man.
Yeah, I know. We've been talking about it for a little minute. I know we had a little hiatus, but yeah, you were definitely someone I always wanted on because I could empathize with your story, with the injuries, the JUCO life, and I was a huge fan of Last Chance U, so I always watch Independence.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, how you been, man? What's been going on?
Man, I'm good. We had like a little 10-day break before we start fall camp, so I actually ended up coming home, just see the fam one last time because I won't be able to come home until like Christmas time. So I wanted to get that, be able to see like my niece and stuff. So just been home, man, chilling, relaxing, working out a little bit. I leave tomorrow, so it's actually like my last full day home. So yeah, man, just been doing my thing, man, chilling.
Okay, dope. Where and you're in Massachusetts, right?
Yeah, I'm from Malden, Massachusetts. It's like 10 minutes outside of Boston.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was just there a bunch coaching AAU.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we went in April, then I was there in like second week of July, and then we were in Fitchburg.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we were over there for a little while. That's dope. But yeah, no, I kind of want you to just share your story, share your journey. You can kind of just start from the top where, who put a football in your hands? Where'd you, get the love for football? And when did you really realize that, like, you could really do something and, make a career out of this?
Right. So, man, I started playing football when I was 5. I guess I could say I came from a football family because my brother, he was a football player too. I got an older brother and an older sister. He played football too. My sister was a cheerleader. My mom was kind of always like around, like team mom kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? And my dad was a coach like all throughout Pop Warner. So yeah, man, started playing football when I was 5 and instantly fell in love with it. Like instantly, it was just like I had a feel for it right off the get. So yeah, I started playing when I was 5, and then went through the ranks of Pop Warner. You know what I'm saying? All through like first grade through like 8th grade and all that. Played a bunch of different positions. I was like a running back for a little bit in Pop Warner. Then I actually played O-line for like 2 years. That was an experience for sure. But I always wanted to play quarterback because my brother was a quarterback.
Okay.
So like I always like looked up to him, and everyone wants to play quarterback.
Right.
So
I played quarterback when I was a kid. Yeah.
Everyone wants to play quarterback. So when I had made the transition to high school, I was, like I said, I was still playing a bunch of different positions. But when I had transitioned to high school, I was like, nah, I want to play quarterback. So that's when my father actually, he was the freshman team coach my freshman year. So it was my first time ever playing for him. He had always coached my brother. He never coached me. So that freshman year was my first time playing for my dad. And it was definitely some interesting times. We butted heads a couple times. And then sophomore year, I actually got the chance to start on varsity, which was pretty crazy. I was only 15, and just to do that, it was wild. It was a wild experience, man. So I feel like after like midway through my sophomore year, when I was like, I was really making plays. Like I got like Boston Herald Player of the Week a few times. Like we were doing good. So I was like, hey, maybe I can actually do something with this football stuff. And then ended up played at Malden High, my public high school, for 3 years. And then I was actually a baseball player too. And one of my summer baseball coaches had told me, he was like, hey, there's this school in Connecticut that's a really good baseball program. You can play against better competition, get a chance to, get some real D1 looks. And I had known about the coach because it was another baseball player from Malden who actually plays in the MLB now. His name's Paul Campbell. He plays for the Miami Marlins.
Okay.
And so I'd known like the dude, and I've heard about him. So I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely something I'm trying to pursue. And then went on a visit there, and they had a really good football team too. Cheshire Academy in Connecticut. They had some dudes going to like big schools. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, this is definitely something I'm trying to do. So that next year, I ended up transferring after my junior year at Malden High. Ended up transferring to Cheshire Academy, repeat my junior year, so I like reclassed and
Okay.
all that. And then that is really where I feel like my work ethic and like drive for football, because I always like I worked, but I didn't like work
Mm-hmm.
hard.
Yeah,
You know
there's
what
a
I'm saying? But
difference.
like
Yeah.
now, there's a
Yeah.
difference. You know what I'm saying? Like now, I was like really forced to like work hard because I was around like studs. Like everyone's
Mm-hmm.
going D1. Like if I'm not working, then like I'm not gonna play. I wasn't trying to do that.
Yeah.
So 2 years at Cheshire Academy.
What years were you
I
there?
got 2018 was my first year. No, 2017 was my first year. And then 2018, I graduated 2019. So 2017, 2018 were the 2 seasons I played, and then
Okay.
graduated 2019.
I think my boy went there. He played basketball.
Really?
Will Ellis.
Oh yeah. Will, okay, yeah, I follow him on the gram, so yeah, he a good dude.
Yeah, me and Will, we went to Howard together in Texas, JUCO.
Okay, dang, yeah.
Yeah. Will's
Yeah,
my
no, Will
guy.
was there my first year. I think he post graded that year. That was my first year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Will's a good dude. And so yeah, I played that season. My senior season had two like half D1 scholarships. Like Sacred Heart had offered me, but it wasn't full
Mm-hmm.
to play linebacker. And my thing was I never wanted to play that defense. Just I didn't. It just wasn't me.
Yeah.
Like when I transferred to Cheshire, I went from quarterback to running back. So I wanted to like stay on the offensive side of the ball. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
then I had another offer from Merrimack College,
Okay.
and they were kind of in their transition from D2 to
Yep.
D1. So it was like a D1 and a half offer, you know what I'm saying? Like it
Yeah.
wasn't
Because you
like,
couldn't even play in the
but
postseason, right? For like what, like 3 or 4
right,
years. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, I think maybe this might be their first year they can
Yeah,
play in the
because they
postseason.
won
I'm
for
not entirely sure.
basketball. They won the conference their first year, and they couldn't even go. They won the NEC, and they couldn't even go
That's
to March
that's
Madness.
crazy.
Yep.
Dang, wow, that's wild. Dang, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Dang, that's crazy. And then yeah, so like I wasn't really interested in Sacred Heart was a cool school, but the whole defensive thing, it just wasn't sitting right with me. And then like Merrimack, I was kind of stuck in that like, oh, like I'm going D1, I'm going D1. Like I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
go D2, like do nothing like that. So I was kind of stuck in my own ways, to be honest. And ended up getting a preferred walk on to Rutgers and a preferred walk on to UMass. And I was like, oh, okay. So my kind of thought process was, okay, if I go to Sacred Heart or if I go to Merrimack, I'm going to be paying for school every single
Yeah.
year. As if I just take like this walk on, I could pay for one, like a semester or two, and then I'm on scholarship. I don't have to worry about any type of bills. My parents don't got to worry about nothing. Like it's a smaller sacrifice for a bigger picture. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Exactly.
So I decided to take it at UMass. Things definitely didn't go as planned. I got hurt my first year. That was like a real because I'm already, you know what I'm saying. I'm already a walk on. So it's levels too. Once you like that level,
Mm-hmm.
it's sad, but it's true. You know what I'm saying. They look at you a little differently.
Yeah. And football's next man up. So
Man,
it's
next
like you
man
get
up.
hurt, like if you can't, perform or provide for the team, like you're no good. And like I talk about that a lot with people, because I dealt with it with basketball. Basketball is a little lower scale than football, of course, but
Mm,
like pretty much all sports, bro. Like if you a college athlete, at the end of the day, it's a business. So
right.
the coach is trying to keep his job at the end of the day, provide for his family, and if you can't get wins on the field, or there's really not much use for you. You're just a body.
Just a body, bro. It's sad, but it's true, bro. You're really just a body, man. It's a business, like you said, because they're trying to provide for provide for theirs and put the best product on the field. So they're not trying to waste no time and take a risk or anything like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, nah, college is different, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get hurt and I'm like I'm down below the bottom of the totem pole now because I'm a walk on, but now I'm a hurt walk on. So I'm like, oh, okay, dang, like this is a humbling experience coming from like high school being the man, like all the accolades and all that stuff, and then 6 months later you're a nobody, and it's like, whoa,
Yeah. Your
okay,
life
like this
changes,
is
takes a turn.
right. Yeah, it definitely takes a turn, man. So that was that first year at UMass was definitely that was a tough year. And then after rehab, I get good, you know what I'm saying, 100% back to full health. And then like going into spring ball, they had moved my position. Like I came in as a running back, but then they had moved me to like they safety. And I was like, oh, okay, like I'm kind of back in like that high school mode where I'm like, that's not what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Like that's just not, you know what I'm saying? So my thought process was like, okay, I'm gonna play this spring ball and then I'm gonna transfer. If it doesn't work out, I'm gonna give it a shot. You know what I'm saying? I'm never a guy that's not gonna try. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather do something and fail than never try at all. Like I don't. That's just how I was raised, everything. So,
Yeah.
but this is 2020, so this is like COVID is just about to hit. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So I remember like the week before spring ball, we get sent back home. And when it first happened, everyone was, oh, like, a week will be
Yep.
good, shut for
Yeah.
so we're like, all right, bet like a week will be good. And we ain't never come back.
Yeah,
So
no, it was crazy. I remember, yeah, because I was in Texas then, and I went home for spring break. And like that was right when COVID was, like the cases were multiplying. So then they kept postponing. And my car was still in Texas. So I had to fly back like mid COVID, fly back to Texas and then drive back like 35 hours to New York.
dang,
Yeah, but yeah, that was
dang.
that was definitely a struggle. I mean, how did that operate like during football? Like did they take precautions up until the point, or once the lockdown happened, like everyone just got sent, or obviously no one came back?
Right. Yeah, that's really how it went because it was like right before it really like spring, like that spring break week was really like the week when like everything really shut
Mm,
down. So like they had just basically told us like, hey, like you guys are gonna go home for this week. Like everything should be good. Like, whatever the CDC saying, like we're gonna be all right. And then we got sent back home. And then like I remember they had us all hop on like a Zoom call and they were like, yeah, like we don't know when, but you guys aren't coming back for a little while.
wow.
So then I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm still trying to get on a scholarship. I'm not even playing the position I want to play. And now I can't even like do anything to like show what I'm capable of. So I'm kind of in a rut. But then I'm just like, all right, well, there's nothing I can do. I gotta just, take it on the chin. Like I start really trying to, hone in on the safety stuff, train and all that. And then summer comes and they tell us we're coming back. So I'm like, all right, like we're coming back. But he's like, there's only one thing, only the scholarship dudes are coming back. I'm
Wow.
like, are you serious right now?
Can't
So
catch a
like
break.
I've been can't catch a break. I'm like, there's no way. And then I remember he had like it was like me and like two other walk-ons that like he had called. And he was like, yeah, I'm really trying to get you guys back, like da da da, just kind of just saying. And I'm like, all right, whatever, man, whatever. And then I think it was probably like August, a couple weeks before August, maybe like 2 weeks before August, like fall camp was about to start. They let everyone back on campus. So I'm like, all right, I'm just training, we're about to start practice. I'm kind of like noticing, like, I know the deal. Like, there's scholarship dudes ahead of me. Like,
Yeah.
I understand that I'm climbing a uphill battle. So I'm trying to do what I can. I think it was like second day of summer camp and fall camp, I mean. And like this is when like teams like I think the Ivy League had just shut down, like
Mm-hmm.
they're not gonna play their season. Like there's rumblings that we're not gonna play.
Right.
So they call us all in a meeting after practice. It was like, hey, just letting you guys know, like we're gonna shut it down. We're canceling the season.
Wow.
Like we're not gonna play. And then and then he's like, you guys are gonna be able to stay like to work out and stuff, but only the scholarship players. So I'm like, yo, this has to be a joke.
So
I'm
you
like, there is
can't. So you had
no.
to go back home
I have to go back home.
and still take classes,
Yeah,
and
and
then
still
you
take
can't even
classes. So
work
I'm
out
like,
at the facilities. Wow.
can't even work out at the facility. Literally can't. Like they would not let me. If I wanted to, I wouldn't even have been able to go into the facility.
That's
So
wild.
I'm like, I remember like when they had like called all the walk-ons together, and like I'm looking around at like all these dudes, and like no disrespect to anybody, I'm like, yo, there is no way that I should be like with these kids. You
Right
know what
in
I'm
this
saying? Like
category. Yeah.
it's like there's just no way. Like I'm just like it's just driving me crazy, man. I remember I was crying after. I was like, bro, there's no way. I had called my mom. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm like in tears. Like I'm so sorry that like I've been putting you guys through this. Like it'll make sense. I hope one day. Like I'm like I don't know what to do. And then I remember back home probably for like 2 weeks, and then I'm kind of just like, man, like I'm gonna like try and like talk to the coach and try and go back to running back. I guess like
Mm-hmm.
because I just don't feel like DB. It's just not me. Like I kind of feel like I'm better than most of the running backs they have. So let me try and see what's up. And I remember I called him and I'm like, hey coach, like blah blah blah, like I'm trying to switch back to running back. What do you think? He's like, oh yeah, for sure. You go back to running back. I'm like, all right. So when I hang up at first, I'm hyped. I'm like,
Right,
hey, I
right,
get to
right.
go back. And like 5 minutes later, I'm like, hold up. I'm like, this dude just moved me to defense. And then now I'm trying to go back to running back, and he's like totally okay with it. Like clearly, there's like no type of plan at all for me. So I'm like, all right, like I'm gonna give it a few days, and I'm gonna call him again. And like, I didn't really think I was gonna like tell him I was transferring. I was kind of just like gonna like voice my frustrations, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But but then I kind of like I called him again, like probably like 3 days later, and I'm like, hey coach, like like financially on my parents, like I just can't do this anymore. Like I'm not even playing a position I want to play. Like
Yeah.
I'm thinking he's gonna like try and keep me, like you know what I'm saying, like tell me no, like you
Yeah.
got a
Stick it
chance to
out.
get
Yeah.
put on
Yeah.
scholarship. Yeah, and that was the shortest phone call I ever had with a coach in my
Wow.
life. Man, it was like a minute, probably like a 45-second phone call.
Wow.
And then like my mom was so mad. She was like, "You did what?" I was like, "I told them I'm transferring," and she was like, "There's no way you just did this. Where are you gonna go? Like, what are you doing?" Like, and I had no plan. Like I said, I didn't think I was gonna be transferring. Like, I didn't expect that from that phone call.
Yeah.
So that's when that happened.
So where were
And
you
then
at? Where were you at, like mentally at this point? Because a lot of people say, like I live by that method, like adversity is necessary, and like you have to go through things to, if you want to reach your ultimate goal of success and whatever your dreams are. But like up until this point, it's like one thing after another. It just seems like you can't win, you can't catch a break. So like, and at this point, how old are you? 19, 20?
I had just turned 19.
So
Yeah.
like, how does a 19-year-old go through this and still keep his foot on the gas and striving forward? Because like I know so many people that have been in similar situations as you, because I was one myself. Like I'm not sure if
Mm.
you're too familiar with my story. It's too long. I won't get into it. But like everyone would always just ask me like, yo, like how are you still doing this? Like most people would have quit by now. So like how did you like what was your drive to like for you to keep going?
Man, honestly, at that point, there was like I honestly don't even know, man. Like it was just like you said, like just constant like loss after loss after loss. But like I just feel like there was like some voice just telling me that like just keep going, keep going. Like you know what you're capable of. Like you just haven't had the chance to really like show what you can do at the college level. Like you already did your thing in high school. Like everyone knows. But when you get to college, people forget about that, like, as they
Yeah,
should.
it
You know what I'm
doesn't matter
saying? It's like
anymore. Yeah.
it doesn't matter no more. So like, but I just kind of kept like because I always was like I worked hard, you know what I'm saying? So I knew that like some way I was gonna catch a break somehow. I prayed. So just keeping just like looking at guys like I really like and like Isaiah Thomas, like his story always
Yeah.
kind of resonates with me, man. Like I know he hasn't played or he's jumped around the past couple
Yeah.
years, but just his initial story, like dudes like that, like Baker Mayfield, like
Yeah. Yeah.
guys like that have those crazy stories, like kind of just like keep you motivated, man. That like, hey, maybe I can be one of these crazy stories. So I just kept that faith, man, and just prayed on it, and I believe that God had like a greater plan for me. I don't know. I just always kind of just believed that.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you have to have that,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not something that a lot of dudes are born with. It's almost like an intuition thing, like you were saying. Like you just had this like belief that no matter what, things were gonna work out. And I mean, that's a great way to live by, right? Because like if you don't have that mentality or you can't abide by like that way of life, you really wouldn't accomplish anything in life because anything worth having, like you have to go through certain things. So I mean, I'm sure it's built you and like built your character and like had to put a chip on your shoulder to where you're at now. Like all that stuff, like it molded you into the person you were supposed to be.
Mm. No, 1,000%. You nailed it, man. 100%. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. And tough times like that, like I'm a little familiar with your story. Looking at the page and like hearing you talk and stuff. So I mean, it, man. You just got it. No matter how hard it is, man. You really just got it. If you truly love what you're doing, like you, it's gonna take a lot for you to really say, hey, okay, maybe this ain't for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like so you just gotta really, like you said, man, just have the faith and just head down, and that's just all I was really trying to do, man.
Yeah, because it's so hard sometimes because you could think you're doing the right thing, and just like there's always like that. I mean, at least for me, there's always that slight, little voice in the back of my head, like is this worth it? Like, are you really doing this
Mm.
for a reason? And some days, like that voice gets a little louder, and then it's like, how can you tame that voice? How can you quiet that voice and silence it and just like put your head down and keep going? Because it's really hard, especially as like an athlete, and you know people don't understand, especially you, like trying to walk on at a Division 1, like, bro, all odds are stacked against you. Like
Yeah.
there's no reason for you to be successful. You have to
Oh,
find a way, like you have to build your own, you have to make your story, like you said, like you have to be one of those stories, like Baker, Isaiah Thomas, like all these guys that should not be where they're at. You have to defy
right.
odds and, just be that guy. So obviously you tell coach you're transferring. Now, like, where's your head at? Like, what is your next steps? Because trying to transfer, especially you haven't even played a year of college yet, and now you're what, almost 2 years out or a year out?
Yeah, 28, 20. Yeah, I'm 2 years. It's 2020. So yeah, I'm 2 years out of high
Right.
school. Played high school. I graduated 2019, but
Yeah.
played 2018.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I mean, to be honest, like I hit up the schools that offered me in high school, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm in the transfer portal. Like, if you, I would love to, have a, get a chance to speak to you and all that. And I thought I was gonna end up at Merrimack
Mm-hmm.
because their coach, he was my first offer. He loved me in high school. So I really thought I was gonna end up there, but they were, it was mid-pandemic, so they were like, we don't know. Like, nobody
Yeah.
knows what's going on. We don't even know if we're playing. So like, we don't. I wish I could give you an answer, but we really have no idea. I don't even know if I'm gonna have enough scholarships, stuff
Wow.
like that. So now I'm just chilling in the transfer portal, man, and then kind of just like I'm still working out, just like keeping the faith. My mom has didn't lose all hope in me, but she's just like, what are you doing? Like, what is going on? Like, and that's hard,
Yeah.
someone that like people that you love kind of just like looking at you like, man, you a year ago you were doing this, and now it's you don't even know where you're going to school. So it was tough, man. It
Yeah.
definitely was. But then probably like a week later, I'm in the portal. I get like a random follow on Twitter from the offensive coordinator at Independence. And I kind of look at it and kind of laugh it off. I'm like, damn, that's kind of cool. Last year too, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, I had no like I didn't know what to expect. And then he had actually reached out to me. He's DMing me, whatever. Like, I watched your film, da da da. Can you hop on a phone call tonight? So I'm like, all right, yeah, I don't got nothing to lose. Like, I don't got no other phone calls with any
Right.
coaches, so I might as well like see what he has to say. And he's calling me, just giving me the whole spiel about JUCO. Basically telling me, yeah, you come here, you get a chance to go bigger than UMass. You can like rewrite your story. He's saying everything that I'm really trying to
Of
hear. You know
course.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That's
Like,
JUCO recruiting
so
for
I'm
you.
like,
Yeah.
man. So I'm like, oh, this really might be it. And then he was like, you think you can get here like in the next 2 weeks? I'm like, next 2 weeks? Like, you guys aren't even playing the season. Like, what do you mean? He's like, oh well, you can still get film from fall practice and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, all right, like whatever. I'll bring it up to my dad, my mom, see what they think. And immediately my dad shuts it down. He's like, no. He's like,
Wow.
you're not going JUCO. Like, there's
Wow.
no way you're going JUCO. And I'm like, I mean, can you at least hear the guy out? Because in my mind, I'm thinking like, I'm going. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is. I talked to my
Yeah.
boys. I'm like, yo, I think this is a good move for me. This is what I need. And so I convinced them to like, hear the coaches out, whatever. We have a phone call, and it's the OC and the head coach who was head coach. He was actually on last year's year. He wasn't the crazy
Yeah. I
dude,
remember.
Coach
I
Brown.
remember
He
him.
was
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
yeah, and so they're talking, and they say the same thing they say to me. You have a chance to go to a bigger school than UMass, like really like rewrite your story, stuff like that. And my dad is, he's my number one fan. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
he's the one that put the ball in my hands. So like, he's hearing this, and he's like, okay, like
Mm.
I like how this sounds. Like, this is like your second chance. So like, they offer me like the scholarship or whatever, and like after the phone call, I'm like, we all just sat there and like we all agreed that like this is the move that I have to make.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
two weeks later, I'm in Independence, Kansas.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy because, like you said at first, your dad was like, "Oh, like you're not going JUCO." And that's the stigma that a lot of people have and a lot of parents have, and it's not you can't blame them for it because they just don't know. And a lot of people don't.
Right.
Like when you were, in high school or growing up, like, did you ever think about junior college? Like, nah, like I never thought of it either. But after going to junior college and you go through it, you realize like, yo, like that is one of the most life-changing experiences like you can go through as an athlete. The people you meet, like those guys really become your brothers. Like those are lifelong friends. And most of the time, like you're in the middle of nowhere, like Independence, Kansas. I was in Big Spring, Texas, like Bossier City, Louisiana. You know what I mean? So it's just something that you can't really explain, like unless you go through it. Like you can even watch
100%.
Last Chance U, and yeah, like they tell it pretty well, but they leave a lot of stuff out that you have to be there to understand
Mm.
it. But and I feel like they do a good job of showing both sides, but they show a lot of negatives with it. Like there's a lot of positives that come out of JUCO, and it might not be like the training facilities or the food you eat and all that, but it's like what it does to you internally and what it does to you and turns you into a man and what it does for you as an athlete. It's like it's literally the best thing for you if you go there and do your job. Like if you handle your
100%.
schoolwork, you put the work in and you do what you have to do, like on the field or on the court, it's like a no-brainer. Like 1 year can
Right.
change your entire life.
No, 1000%. That's the thing. Like, and to be like you just said, like in high school and stuff, you don't even like. To be honest, I didn't even know what JUCO was
Yeah.
until I watched Last Chance U.
Yep.
That was the first time I was like, dang, junior college, and like that first season, like East Mississippi, I'm like, whoa, this
Yeah.
is junior college. Like this is definitely a little different.
Yeah.
Like,
It's high level
and everyone's like,
football.
nah, you don't. Right, high level football for sure, bro. For sure, for sure. Man, I remember like when I had like some of my high school coaches had found out I was going JUCO. They were like, what are you doing? Like this is the route you want to take? Like, are you sure about this? And so you really just bet on yourself, man. Like we were talking about earlier, if you love something, like you'll do some crazy things for the sport you love.
Yeah, nah, for real. And like I vouch for JUCO all the time. Like I say it's like it could be the best thing for you. I tell guys like,
Man,
yo, go do 1 year, man. Do 1 year because it's just I just like I was saying, like it's just unexplainable. Like I wouldn't change it for anything. Like after experiencing JUCO,
man,
like would you change it or like would you go that
no.
route? Yeah, exactly.
To be honest, if I probably would have just went to JUCO straight out of high school instead of going to UMass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you said, you don't know about it. You don't know what it truly is until you experience it. And like the leap I took, like as an athlete and just like as a man, and like really like being able to like find out who I am as a person. Like I wouldn't change that. Like it was definitely some hard times. Don't
Yeah,
get me
for
wrong, but
sure.
like, but nah, it changed my life completely for the better. And like you said, like you meet some of the best dudes,
Yeah.
like the best, like man, the friends I made at JUCO, like those are really brothers. Like I'll be in touch and be close to these dudes for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy cuz so many people, like I was saying, like they just downplay it and they
Mm,
they don't they're just they just lack knowledge in that space. But it's high level sport. That is closest. If you're in the right conferences. So like for football, like I know Kansas is like a top level, like Mississippi. Well, there's a few in like Arizona. Like Arizona Western is pretty good. So
hmm
like football is like a little spotty, but the main one is Kansas, and then obviously Texas. But like basketball, it's Kansas, Texas, Florida. It's like that is Division 1 level sports with just crazy motherfuckers. Like that's all this shit is. Like
That
it's literally
ass.
Division 1 with dudes that like got a loose screw. Like and that's why it's scary because
Right,
they're one step away from being like a professional at their sport. Like one step away, just putting key in the right spot, and you got to
right.
go up against that every single night. So then when people look, oh, he
Mm,
went JUCO, like like do a year JUCO and then come back and
right.
say that.
Right. Nah, definitely, man. Yeah, that's a fact, bro. It's definitely some crazy, crazy dudes you
Yeah.
encounter, bro, that are just like you said, just one a few months of doing the right thing, and their whole life
Hmm.
is about to change for the way better than it is now, man. Yeah, nah, JUCO. I'm thankful. I'm thankful I went JUCO for sure.
Yeah. So talk about your experience at Indy, and because I know, I mean, from your story, I know things don't get easier as you
No.
get there. So like continue this,
Right.
trials and tribulations.
So yeah, man, I get to Indy and I had known like they had like a big running back room, you know what I'm saying? They had told me there was like 10 plus dudes,
Hmm.
but they had like they're bringing me in like it's funny like I immediately saw the different like so I go to UMass as a walk on, right? And I'm treated, however, like as a walk on. But now I'm a D1. I'm not a walk on. I'm a D1 bounce back at Indy now. So like they're looking at me a little different now. Like it's like they actually like are putting me in a position where I have a chance to like actually, show what I can do. Like
Yeah.
it's not like I'm not climbing up a crate. Like I still got to prove myself, but I'm not at the bottom of the bottom. You know what I'm saying? I'm closer to like where I'm trying to be. So yeah, we had like I want to say like either 13 or 14 running backs,
Wow.
and four of them came. They were like Power Five dudes. I
Bounce
didn't know
backs.
that though. I
Yeah.
definitely didn't know. Yeah, but so I'm like, oh, okay. Like I remember like when I first got there and I moved into my dorm, it was me and three other dudes, all running backs. So like, well, okay, this could be interesting.
Yeah.
Like it was one dude who came from Marshall. He was a 5-star in a 4-star in high school, had like every offer in the country. And then there was another dude, Tavion Thomas, who actually is at Utah now. I'm pretty sure he led the country in rushing touchdowns this past
Wow.
season. So I'm like, okay, like it's time. I gotta work. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's no time to like slack off or nothing. So, which is good though. I needed that. I wanted that. Like I wanted to be able to push myself, and you know how it is at a JUCO. Like you're automatically gonna become better if you're doing the
Yeah.
right things and working hard because you know what I'm saying. So yeah, do that. Just work. We're not having a season. It's just practice going into because they're playing the spring season because COVID got canceled the fall season. So just training, working. I'm running with like the twos, the one, back and forth. So like I'm in a good spot. Like it's different football, man. Like it's high level. Like coming from UMass and then going there, like there's no drop off at all. If anything, the talent is no shade to my old school, but the talent level, it's all like dudes going SEC, like Power Five. Like
Yeah.
it's
That's the thing that I realize in JUCO, because it's like, you're out of Division One. UMass is mid-major football, right? It's not,
right.
but it's
Hmm.
like now you're at junior college, but you have guys going, like you said, to the SEC, Big 10, Big 12. So it's like there's no Big 10 SEC guys, Big 12 at UMass. They're at UMass, and
Right.
like that's their level. Like, sure, maybe give or take a few guys can play a little higher, a little
Hmm.
lower, but like at JUCO, those guys can play, like those are NFL guys. You know what I mean? Like
Right. Nah, literally.
that's the difference. Like you said, like people think there's a drop off going from Division One to JUCO, and sometimes it's the other way around.
Nah, literally, it was 100% the other way around. I was, man, at first, those first couple practices, I was like, man, like this is real deal. Like I had known it was gonna be good, but I didn't realize it was gonna be this good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that fall practice, I'm kind of just getting my confidence back. Like I'm feeling like good again. Like I'm like, okay, I'm back at because I hadn't played running back for 1.5 years. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I'm like I'm getting back into it. I'm feeling good though. I'm like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like I'm starting to like understand like why I've gone through some things, and I'm like, okay, I'm really gonna be able to do what I want to do here. Like I really have a chance to go back D1 and go to a big school. And so we come back, fall. We have a couple scrimmages, uh, have a decent fall. It was for what it was worth. Like it was okay. Like I obviously wanted to like go crazy in the
Yeah.
scrimmages, which I had some decent scrimmages, but looking back on it, it was really just I needed to get my feet wet again at running back.
Mm-hmm.
So I positioned myself to be like in like the 3-back rotation though. And then in the spring, our offensive coordinator gets fired. Coach Harris, who was the head coach at the time, takes a job at Boise State.
Wow.
And the offensive coordinator is one that offered me. So I'm like, ooh, okay, this might be. I don't know how this is gonna be. If we get a new coach, maybe he's like, I don't know if he's gonna like me. He's
Yeah.
gonna so whatever. We get a new offensive coordinator, and the offense is like actually like more tailored for like my style than the old staff. So I'm like, oh, okay, like this is perfect. Like I'm running with the starters now. Like I'm not saying like I said, my boy Tavion, he was at it. He's going to Utah, but like I kind of was just doing more of the little things right.
Mm-hmm.
Like talently, he's just a better running back than me. Like when someone's better than you
Yeah.
gotta
Yeah.
like. But I'm like staying after like just doing the little things because I know like it'll add up type thing. So I'm running with the starters at one point, and then first day of hitting, get the ball, D lineman wraps me up, linebacker dives for my legs, my foot snaps. I'm like, bro, there is no way this just happened to
And
me.
you knew it. You
Right
knew
when
it
it happened,
immediately.
immediately. my coach is like, "Oh, get up, get up." Because I remember like it happened, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then my coach was like, "Oh, just walk it off, walk it off." Like I tried like walking on my
And
foot,
just gave
and
out.
like it literally felt like it was sliced. Like I was
Wow.
like, "Oh man!" Like I hopped off the field, threw my helmet. I'm crying. I'm like, "Bro, there is no way this just happened to me again."
Yeah, like and like you said, like, people think when people cry with an injury, something like that, like you're not crying from the pain. Like you're crying from the
No,
frustration of like
right?
what all the shit I just went through, and I'm this close to reaching my goal, and it just gets taken from me. And especially like an injury. That's like it's one of the most like devastating things because like everything you just went through has just been like taken from you. And like this is like the part of your story that like I really wanted to get into, and like what I coexist with, because my first day of JUCO, my third day of JUCO, so I was at an NAIA school in the Virgin Islands. I went to the University of the Virgin Islands in St. Thomas.
Damn.
So 2 weeks before I went there, I tore my deltoid ligament in my ankle. I get there, I still can't go. I tried to play, I roll my ankle again, completely tore it, out for the year. So now I'm like, all right, let me give JUCO another chance. So I bounce back JUCO. I go to Howard. I go to Howard College in Texas. I'm like, yo, I got one more chance to go Division 1, Division 2. Like one more chance. First 2 days, I kill it. Had the best summer of my life. Like I'm feeling great. Like I'm strong, athletic. My shot feels great. Third day of JUCO, of open gym, guy drives baseline, steps on my foot. I try to slide with him. I fall. My wrist gets caught under me. Snap my wrist, my shooting wrist. And I just was like punching the floor like with my left hand, just like, and I just like, yo, like I can't win. Like I've sat out, like through 700 days, and like I finally got here, and like I was so close, and then boom, and like I knew it. As soon as I did it, I knew I broke it as well. And I mean, long story short, I end up only playing 9 games that year. I get a microfracture in my right knee. First day back from Christmas break, and I only played 9 games, and then COVID hit. So like that was my story with the injuries, where it was just like it's just out of your control. Like you said, like you had a great summer, great off season. You did everything that you could to have your body right, physical shape, stamina, you name it, and then like you break a bone in your foot because a guy like rolls up under you. It's like, so where are you at mentally at this point? Like what is going through your mind?
Like I thought like UMass and like that was low. Like I'm low, low, low now because like I'm in the middle of nowhere. Like my family is in Massachusetts. I'm out here like because at first when it first happened, they tried telling me like my trainer was like, oh, like there's a chance like it might not be broken. So I was like, because like they were like the way it was bruised or whatever. So I'm like, okay, like hey, maybe it's not. Maybe I just. So I'm still thinking like a week into it, I'm like, oh, maybe. And then like after that, I was like, yeah, there's no way.
Yeah.
Like this, my foot is messed up. Like, so I'm down, man. I'm down. I'm like, because we're still like, they're so slow in Kansas, man. Like I'm trying to get an X-ray, then I'm trying to get an
Yeah,
MRI,
it's
and
not
I'm
like the
just like, yo, like,
Northeast. Nuh-uh.
nah, man. Like I'm just playing this waiting game, and then like finally, like my parents are like, all right, like let's get you home and like figure out what's wrong with you, like what's really like let's like you said, like it's not like the
Yeah,
Northeast,
nah.
like so we do that, and now I'm back home. Like it was better for me mentally, but I'm still like, bro, all my friends, all my boys are at their universities, like having like enjoying college, like doing their thing, and like what was this 20? I'm 20. Yeah, I'm 20, just sitting in my room like not thinking football is done. Like I'm like
Lost.
this
Yeah.
it's over. Like I went to go see the doctor. He told me I had it's called a Liz Frank. So basically like who had it recently? I know Cam Newton had it. Travis Etienne, he had it last season, missed the whole season. A couple dudes had it and they've had to retire.
Wow.
So like I'm think like the doctor told me, he was like, hey man, like I recommend that like you stop playing football. And I'm like, wow, like this is I went through all this to be here in this doctor's office hearing that like football is over for me.
Wow.
So like I'm back home, like I get the surgery, whatever, and I'm just like cooped up in my bed, man, just going through it, like going like down below.
Wow.
Like it was a hard, there was some tough times, man. It was real tough times.
Yeah, Zoom only has like a 40-minute record limit now.
Dang.
It's mad dumb. It's annoying. I used to, like, when I first did them, like during COVID and stuff like that, you know, you could go as long as you want, but if you had more than like 2 or 3 people, they would be 40 minutes. But now, and like, I didn't even end it. It just shut off. That's why I wanted to like get you right before you kept going. But that was a good point to stop anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so obviously you are at, I don't know, would you say the lowest point in your career, in your life?
Yeah, 1,000%. Lowest point of my life for sure, man.
Wow. So, yeah, so what is going through your mind at this point? So you're back home in Massachusetts
Yep.
and they tell you like this injury could possibly derail your football career.
Yeah, it's man, I'm just kind of like, all right, well, I'm accepting this new reality that I'm done playing football. Like it was hard for me, like just obviously personally hearing that, but then like seeing like the reaction of like my parents and like how like much it hurt them, like hurt me like even more. Because like we would always talk about like doing this and playing in the league and like everyone like believed in me doing that, and then it's like just over. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dang, like
Wow.
it's crazy that this just happened. And like, yeah, man, it's just mentally kind of just going through my own battles every single day because I can't even like do anything. Like I'm just in bed, like my foot's completely wrapped, like I'm post surgery, like I'm just in bed, man, just trying to like make the most out of it. And man, like my dad, like my parents really like just kind of just were they just tried just being there for me, like my dad would like, come on, like let's play the game, like like let's do this, like just trying to like keep me just somewhat level headed. And man, I know it was hard for them because I think it was a week after my surgery, Indy had played their first game. And my dad's like, come on, like let's go downstairs, like let's watch it. Whatever. I'm friggin' rolling downstairs. I came up with pressure on my foot, like you know what I'm saying? I got the wrap on, and then like I'm sitting there watching it. And first drive goes, they score a rushing touchdown, and I'm just like, I can't even watch this. Like no matter how hard I
Yeah.
try, I'm like, I can't watch this. I'm like, turn it off. Like, please turn it off. Like, so yeah, man. And
Wow.
then that was tough, man. Just like being, because you just want to play so bad. Like we're athletes, you know what I'm saying? Like when you can't do what you love doing, it's a different type of pain, man. And I know, like you said, through the injuries and stuff, so you a thousand
Yeah.
percent get it. It's more mental than anything, bro. And that's
Yeah, no, exactly.
and
That's like the main thing.
man,
It's the mental side of it. Like, the rehab, yeah, rehab sucks and dealing with the injury, yeah, all that sucks. But you're an athlete, like
hmm
it's just work, you know what I mean? Like it's a workout in itself. But it's that mental aspect where it's like, one, are you thinking like, yo, am I gonna be the same? Am I
hmm
gonna be able to play football again? The thing I love the most is just taken from me after all I've been through. And then, we're athletes. Like we like to get up, work out, do this. Like now you can't. Like now you're just bedridden. Like and that's why I dealt with that in Texas when broken wrist, microfracture my knee, and that is actually like looking back. Like this is like my whole point of this show and everything like that. It's you don't see why you're going through these things in that moment. But like it all makes sense in the end. Like if you just have faith and you like trust God and just believe like everything's happening for a reason. Because like I started this podcast when I was in bed, like couldn't walk on crutches because I was like, yo, like this is my second year at JUCO. I just got hurt 9 games in. I might not get a school. Like I don't have that much film. I'm already 22, 23 years old. Like I might be done.
right.
So, but I started this podcast. So it's like if I didn't go through that, I would have never had this. So that's the one thing like I always just try to keep in mind and tell like the younger athletes I coach where it's like, yo, like just keep going, man. Like
hmm
just push through because if you can fight the mental side of it, the physical side is like that's the easy
That's
part.
the easy part, 100%, man, 100%. That's crazy though that getting injured is like the reason why you did this podcast. Like, bro, that's crazy. Everything happens for a reason, really. That's dope.
Yeah, bro. I was in bed like I was in West Texas, middle of nowhere, Big Spring, and all my teammates, practice, workout, like I can't walk. All I could do is go get rehab. I would go get rehab, and then I mean, I started hitting like the weights. Like that was the only thing I could do, like upper body. And like I would just fall in love with the weight room. But like up until that point, I would just be laying in my bed for like 16, 17 hours a day. It would be class, workouts, and rehab for like 6, 7 hours. And then the rest, I'm just in my bed. Like I can't do anything.
Hear that? That's crazy because when I initially happened at Indy and I was in the boot, I completely shut down. Like I wasn't trying to go to practice and watch. I wasn't trying to go to class. Like I was just chilling in my room, just like, dang.
Yeah.
Like it just completely shut me down. And then going more into like rehab, I finally, was able to start rehabbing and stuff, But they said it would be a long recovery. So the fall, I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't know about the fall, but I mean, I have to rehab anyways because I have to get my foot, so I can, live normal again. So I
Yeah.
start rehabbing and I start like feeling pretty good. I'm like, okay, like I don't know, like because it was like so I had this. They put 2 screws in my foot. So they initially put the screws in your foot, and then like I want to say like 3 months later, they have to take them out. So I'm like, oh okay, like I don't know, like it's like probably like 2 3 weeks before I'm about to get the screws out. I'm thinking like, yo, I might just keep these screws in so I don't have to like go through that surgery again. Cause I feel like I can like
Mm-hmm.
I'm moving better. Like I'm starting to feel I'm not there yet, but I'm almost there. So whatever, like the 2 weeks go by, I get the screws out of my foot. Yeah, I think it's like another week in bed, so kind of like set me back for a second, but whatever. So now I'm on the rehab thing again, just working, like starting to like I don't know, like for me, like working out, it just like makes you feel so like good, like mentally, like it's just like you
Yeah.
feel good, like, and I'm like, oh, there might be a chance that I could like try and maybe play a couple games this season. So I'm doing like the rehab and stuff, and I'm like, you know what? Like at first, I'm thinking I didn't know what I was gonna do for school because, like I have no film. Like, no one's gonna want a dude that I still have no college film. Like, I have a little practice
Yeah.
film from Indy, but like we were about to play our first game in 2 weeks, and I got hurt before that, so I don't have too much film. So now I'm like, okay, like I have to go back to Indy because like I'm already
Yeah.
on this path. Like I'm kind of nearing close to being done with rehab. Like so, I'm like we got to just see what happens. So I go back to Indy like last week of July, like probably like 2 weeks before fall camp. But like I'm still not 100%. Like I've just been rehabbing. Like, I've been working
Yeah.
like you were talking about doing like upper body and stuff like that. Like I haven't been squatting. Haven't really been running like that. I've been running a little bit, but like not haven't been cutting, doing all the
Yeah.
things I need to do. So I get back to Indy and I start to do that stuff, which I probably like shouldn't have been doing this stuff, but I'm like, hey, I gotta, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If I'm trying to go play in college, I have no choice. Like I have to just learn how to play with a different type of pain. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
whatever I start practicing and practices are going good. Like I'm feeling, I'm not like I said, like wasn't training, running back, doing all that stuff. Just I'm not feeling bad for the circumstances I'm in. I'm like, okay, like I could do this. And then yeah, first game comes. My parents, I'm playing football again, which is like crazy to think. I'm like, there's no way. Like I can't believe I'm actually like playing football again. Like
Yeah.
I was just told like I'm never gonna be able to play football again, most likely. And like I'm back on the field. So like I'm like, man, this is crazy. I didn't know what to expect though. I'm still kind of scared because like you said, you don't know if you're gonna be the same. Like I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, yeah, we've been practicing, but we haven't really been like I mean, it's JUCO, so we've been hitting, but like people know like, okay, Jared's foot's a little like let's not force it on him. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
dudes know like we're not gonna do that. Like I remember the dude who had hurt me. He was like, bro, I'm not gonna lie, like that spring season we played in, like it kind of changed me a little bit. Like I was like, man, I just like hurt you. You know what I'm saying? So like hearing
Yeah.
that kind of like broke my heart a little. I'm like, man, like yeah, I'm mad at the moment, like you just did this to me, but it's football at the end of the day. Like it happens. Like
Yeah. Like he didn't
right,
mean.
you
Yeah.
ain't you
It
didn't
wasn't.
mean
Yeah. It
right,
wasn't no ill harm. Yeah. Yeah.
right. So I haven't really been hit like that because like I said, dudes are just chilling on me, letting me just get back into it. And then the first game, first couple runs, like I have some real good runs. I'm like, okay, like this is I'm feeling like me again. This is my first time my parents and my sister have seen me play since 2018. And I remember third quarter, it's like 3rd and 1. They had put me in because a bigger running back. They're trying to have me get the first down.
Mm-hmm.
Whole hits, bro. I scored for like a 60-yard touchdown. I'm like,
Wow.
dang, like this is dope. Like I'm back. Like I was feeling like I'm really back. And then um, first 3 games, I was leading the conference in rushing.
Wow.
Yeah, for not training,
That's
nothing. I'm
dope.
like, yo, like I'm having like schools follow me on Twitter, like some pretty good D1 schools. I'm like, yo, like this is it's starting to come full circle. And then
Yeah.
we're about to play Garden City. They were ranked 2 in the country at the time, and this was my first start. I hadn't started the games prior. Like, I was just rotating in, but like this is like my first start. So I'm like, okay, this is
Hmm.
gonna be like my like breakout game where like this all really comes full circle now. First run I have, I almost break. I get like a 10-yard run, but like I almost broke for a touchdown. Next drive, I run, dude grabs my legs. It's like an awkward safety comes, hits me high while I'm getting grabbed on my leg. It's like I like then really funny. And I feel the same thing
Hmm.
happen in my foot. So
Wow.
I'm like, no way this just happened to me again. So I rush, I get on the sideline. I'm like, whoa, okay. I'm like, it's not as bad as when it happened before, but like
Yeah.
something definitely happened to my foot. Like so whatever, they give me a bunch of Advil, whatever. I finished the game. After the game, like the next day, I can't even walk. I'm like, yo, like I don't know what's something's like my foot wasn't really like even fully healed to be honest, because I was still supposed to like
Right.
continue my rehab, like so I'm like, oh, this might be so next week I don't play. I take the game off because it was like we were playing like some trash team and then we had a bye. So I was
Hmm.
like, oh, I get 2 weeks off. Like
Right. Yeah.
this is
That's
kind of
good.
nice. And I get back to like you know what I'm saying? I'm playing, but like I'm not the same. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like a little like different, like, but I mean, for I know I just completely jumped into the indie season. I didn't mean to do that, but
No, no, no. That's perfect. Yeah, like that's the whole point. But like you said, like maybe I don't know if you lost a step or whatever
mm,
it may be, but like you could tell like this isn't like my full potential.
right.
So what ended up happening like after you took the 2 weeks off, and like how was your foot feeling, and then
Yeah.
what'd you do to finish the year with that?
It was feeling like manageable, like it was feeling good. The biggest thing was just the mental side of it. I was just afraid of like someone rolling up on it again. Just I didn't want to go through that. But like during practice and stuff, it felt fine. And
Mm-hmm.
just played the rest of the season, thankfully, and like didn't get hurt. I wouldn't say like I wasn't the same, but it was kind of hard on me mentally because I was like just trying to be cautious. You know what I'm saying? Like usually I'm playing
Yeah.
kind of reckless. As a football player, you got to play like I mean, you're throwing your body into a bunch of grown, like you know what I'm saying? Like you're running full,
Yeah,
like
it's collision
it's
sport.
collision, like.
Yeah.
But now I'm like trying to
Yeah.
be like more strategic and like just make sure like, which is it's kind of hard to do playing football, playing like that. So I end up like playing the rest of the season, end up leading the team in rushing touchdowns, leading rusher, and I think I had like at this point like 3 Division II offers. And I'm like, I'm still stuck in that mindset of, bro, I'm not going D2. Like, nah. Like, I'm honestly like, bro,
Yeah.
if I have to go D2, like, I'm not even playing football. Like, I was like, I've done,
Wow.
I've been through enough in these past couple of years. I'm like, I'm gonna just hang them up and just go ahead and just go work or something. And then it was crazy because like, I just woke up one day, right? Like, literally just woke up one day and I was like, what am I thinking right now? I was like, bro, last year you couldn't even play football. And you're over here saying that you're not going to take a scholarship at a D2 if that's all you have. Like, are you like, okay? Like, it
Yeah.
was weird, man. It was weird. And I was like, dang, like, okay, like this is obviously I'm still trying to go D1, but I'm like, if I got to go D2, like, I'm not, I'm not too upset. Like, I like going through everything I had to go through the season. Like, it's just a blessing to even have the opportunity for a school
Mm-hmm.
to say, hey, we want to, you know what I'm saying, pay for your school. So I was like, okay, at the time, like the D2 offers I had, I wasn't really too thrilled with. And then, so one of our old coaches from Indy ended up at Missouri Southern, and they're in the MIAA. And for D2, that's like top notch. Like,
Top
yeah,
conference.
that's like the top
Yeah. Yeah.
conference. I had no idea what the hell Missouri Southern was, the MIAA. And then I started
Mm-hmm.
doing some research. I'm like, this is like real deal, like football. Like,
Yeah.
I go and visit,
Everything with that school
man.
too, though, like the
Yeah,
facilities,
yeah.
everything like that. It's better than a lot of Division Ones. Like than
Honestly,
the low major, mid major Division Ones, it's way
100%,
better.
100%. And I,
Because I remember from Carlos from Indy,
yeah.
he ended up going there,
He
right?
goes to UCO. They're
Yeah.
in our conference.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah, because I think he ended up going there because he didn't have
yeah.
eligibility and like he had to go Division two. But and the thing with Division two, like football is a little different. Like you can still go to the league from Division two. Like a lot of guys don't understand that.
Ah, there we go. I got you.
Yo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Where?
But yeah, I don't know if you heard, but I was saying like Division two is a little different. Where like
Mm-hmm.
you could still go to the league from there.
100%.
Like Tyreek Hill went Division
Right.
two. Like there's a lot of dudes like basketball. Basketball is a little different. Like it's hard. Like you really gotta be a guy because mind you, a roster is 12, 15
hmm
guys. Like football is 52-man roster. Like and so many people get hurt every week.
mm
So it's like dudes just get it's just what I mean. If you get your shot and you make the most of your opportunity, your whole life could change. So
Right.
but that's good that you realize that where it's like like I need to be grateful for what I got right
hmm
now and and take make the most of this opportunity because I was the same way. Like that's why I went JUCO because I was like, I'm not going D3. I really don't even want to go Division two. Like all my boys I grew up with went Division one. I'm just like I feel like I'm just as good as them.
100%.
Like I can play with them. Like I beat Division one guys, and it's like I'm not getting my number called.
Right.
Why? So I did all that, and then my story played out how it did, and like I ended up like I'm playing Division three now. But like I was 24 when I made that decision where like I was like, yo, who cares? Like the only reason I wanted to go Division one, like yes, for myself, but it was like it's for what comes with it, and it's like
100%.
at the end, bro, that shit means nothing.
Nothing.
Like, yeah, it's cool to play on ESPN and get the gear and have a nice lock. All right, like, but at the end of the day, like, you play Division two, Division one, Division three, like you still on the same field with the same feet. You know what I mean? The same refs, the same jersey. You tie your shoes the same way at every level. So it's like if you could play, you could play,
Right.
and if you're good enough, like someone is gonna find you.
100%. Like you were just saying, like, bro, like, yeah, you can go D1, but like, if you're just sitting on the bench, it's like, where's the fun? I mean, I know some dudes go with different reasons, academics, like stuff like that. They just want the
Mm-hmm.
experience, like you were saying. But like me personally, and I feel like the same for you, it's like, I'm gonna go here and just watch like that. That's not what I'm about.
Yeah,
Like,
like I want to play.
right.
Like so I work out every day. Like I want to play. Like and I
Right.
want to do well. So
Right.
it's like so yeah. Talk about like your visit and then obviously your commitment with them. Like how soon was it and when did you know like this was the right fit?
Yeah. So I go on the visit, and I like the coach that had offered me, like I said, he was at Indy before, so I was already comfortable. He
Mm-hmm.
was a cool dude, so I was comfortable. I trusted what he was saying, and like I visited the facilities, and I'm like, oh, this is this is a D1 like facility wise. I'm like, these are like
Yeah.
this ain't too much of a drop off. And then just like hearing from the coaches, like about all the like just learning more about the conference and like like dudes that go to the league from the MIAA. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, if I gotta go, like obviously, like I'm still like it's still not signing day, so I'm still trying to get that D1 offer. I'm talking to some D1 schools, but I was like, if I gotta go D2, like I'm going here.
Yeah.
So like at this point, like North Dakota's, they're talking to me a little bit, but they're like, oh, we got a guy ahead of you. Um, North Alabama, kind of the same thing, a guy ahead of you, and then Central Connecticut. They had recruited me a little bit in high school. They're on the phone with me. They're like, "We want to offer you." I'm like, oh, "Okay." Like, but they're like, "We want you to play linebacker," and I'm like,
Nah, I ain't doing that.
I'm like, it kind of like to me, it kind of just defeated the whole purpose of going JUCO. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like
Like you could have did that at the others. You know what I mean? You
I
could have
could
did
have,
that at UMass wherever.
right. But I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, like, I could get this offer, and then like you tweet an offer, and like other coaches see it, like this could like propel, like
Right.
they're not gonna know I got offered at linebacker, so I'm like this could
Yeah.
be something. But then they had like ran like my transcripts and everything like that, and like for some reason I was like 3 credits short to like be eligible to go back D1. Like I was gonna have to go like
Mm.
back to Indy and take like a class or something, and that is the last thing I was trying to do. I
Right.
did not want to do that. I was like, the transfer portal is insane. Like that's not a risk that I was trying to take because I was, who knows, maybe like Missouri Southern's gonna pull my offer, and then like I look like a clown. Like so, I'm like, okay, like
Mm-hmm.
I think this is where I talked to some people, like talked to my close friends, my family. I was like, I think this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, I ended up committing. So that's how that went down. So I ended up
Dope.
committing, and I got there, and I went in the spring semester. So I got there in January.
Awesome. So you ended up playing spring ball
hmm
there. and now are we present? Like you're going into your first year playing there, or
Yeah.
have you already played a year there?
Nah, this is yeah, so
Oh wow,
yeah, this is gonna we just got done with summer workouts. And now fall camp starts on Monday. So and my body, like
fire.
health wise, like this is the best. I finally like I was talking to my dad about it the other day. Like it's nice to like go into a season like I'm training for I've been training for running back. I don't have to worry about no type of like secret not like
Mm-hmm.
secret agendas with coaches, but it's like I'm not on their board type. You know what I'm saying? So like don't gotta worry
Right, you
about
know why you're
that.
there. Like,
Right. Like
yeah,
my foot,
just
like
gotta
my
handle
body
business.
feels the best it's felt since I was in high school. Like I'm not rehabbing. Like I've been really training. I was like, this is the best I felt going into a season since my senior year of high school, to be honest.
It's good. Yeah, no, I'm glad to hear that because it's just like this all was worth it. You know what I
Man.
mean? It all ended up playing out and like making sense, and that's really, I guess, all you can ask for. Like
Mm,
after going through all this and then to still be where you're at, it's like you had odds, all stacked against you, and it's like you still prevailed and you still ended up being like a 4-year college player at a very high level of football. And like this is really, yes, that is your story, but like this is where like the story really begins for
hmm
like your career. Like these are the next 2-3 years, whatever it may be, that you know can change your entire life. And then you'll look back at everything that you went through and like you'll just be so grateful for it, and like you'll have that story to tell, you know what I mean, like on platforms like this, or as you level up in life and whatever. It's like you wouldn't be here today like if you didn't go through those things.
mm.
So that's no, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna tune into the games this year and watch
Hell
for
yeah.
sure.
I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, I'm a huge like I love football. Like
Yeah.
football, like I like to play basketball, but like football is my favorite sport, like to watch and like everything. Like I grew up playing football and everything. I'm actually about to play quarterback flag football on
Hey.
Sunday in the league.
That's what's
Yeah.
up. Wait, so you're from New York. You a Jets fan or a Giants fan? Oh, Giant, I'm tripping. It's right there. Yeah. Dang. Y'all stole that one from us.
Yeah. Are you still a
I'm a
you're a
Patriots
Pats
fan.
fan?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, had a feeling. I have a Patriots Super Bowl shirt too. I was gonna wear it, but I was like, that kind of contradicts the Giants hat there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but last thing I wanted to ask you, because obviously I create content as well.
hmm
Talk about why you started your TikTok,
hmm
and because that's where I first came across
Right.
your page, because I was on TikTok and came up on my For You page, and I clicked on it because I saw Indy. I was like, oh shit, like who's
Mm.
this? And then started diving through, went on your Instagram, so you had mutual follower with Will. So it's kind of crazy like how the whole social media thing works, where it's
Right.
like you could connect with someone like that easily.
Right.
But yeah, just talk about like how you started your TikTok and why, and how you grew pretty fast on it,
hmm
and you're continuing to grow.
Yeah. So basically, like the first TikTok that I really had that blew up, I was kind of like, you know how like TikTok is a crazy, crazy platform. Like you can really go
Yeah.
kind of viral quick if you do it the right way and stuff like that, whatever. And so basically, like I had just posted like kind of just like where I was at in life, like what happened at UMass, like getting hurt and then switching positions and going to Indy, and like that
Yeah.
at the time this I think I started like what I was saying I was the leading rusher in the conference, so I had posted that and like it got like 150,000 views, and I was like, whoa,
Yeah, that was the first one I
yeah.
saw. That was the first one I saw.
So I was like, yo, okay. Like, and I had some like followers, like people started following me on Instagram, like little kids hitting me up, like, man, like that, your story's inspiring, man. Like, so I was like,
Wow.
I had no intention of like being like a dude on TikTok. And then I
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
just
yeah.
like the follower, like this was the very, very beginning. So I was like, okay, like, and I knew like I had an advantage just because I was at Independence and like people know Last Chance
Oh,
U.
for
So I
sure.
knew people were going to eat it up. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, like
Mm-hmm.
this is definitely gonna do some numbers for sure. Which like posting like days in the life there, like highlights from the games and stuff. Like I knew it was eventually gonna had a chance of really taking off. And then just stay consistent with it. Like I said, like the kids hitting me up and just telling me like it was inspiring. I don't know, that kind of just made me feel good. And like I was like, okay, like I'm starting to more like understand more like the path that I'm on, the journey that I'm on. Like it can really like help some kids out. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I
Yeah.
really started to get on TikTok, and then just kept posting, and it started to really take off, man. So shout out Indy.
Yeah, no, that's dope. Yeah, that's dope because, yeah, I was like super against TikTok like, when it first came out. I'm
Same,
like, bro, like
same.
what? Like, I didn't even have it downloaded. Like, I didn't even know how to use it. And I wish I could go back. Like when COVID hit, like
That was prime.
your life could be different. Like if
Hmm.
you would have started then. And like I was doing the podcast then, but like I just had no idea.
Right.
You know, I just recently, maybe like 2-3 months ago, started doing the clips and posting and doing all that. And but yeah, like you said, like the main thing is like, you're helping people. People are watching your story, they're relating, they're being motivated, inspired, whatever it may be. And like you're changing lives without you even really doing anything. You just doing what you love and just kind of documenting it,
Hmm.
in short segment form. But yeah, no, that's dope. You should definitely continue, the TikTok journey like throughout your,
Hmm.
path, career, and what I mean, if you know, there's I don't know many, I mean, I know a lot of NFL stories, but like for someone like you, like to end up like in the NFL or something like that and like get a shot like that, like you could be like a staple for like the people that go through, what you went through because a lot of people do have similar stories to you,
Right.
but like you don't know them. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like if you didn't have TikTok as a platform, like not many people would know your story.
Right.
And that's why I think you should definitely continue with that and just continue to document your journey and your path because like it's all gonna make it's all gonna make sense like in the end game like when you finally reach that ultimate goal which obviously is the NFL.
No, for sure, bro. I appreciate hearing that, man. Most definitely. Yeah, that TikTok, it's been cool, bro. Being able to talk to people, like you said, that would have no idea about anything about my journey, my path, and like, just hearing from them like that, like, maybe it helped them, maybe they're just saying it, but like just to hear that, you know what I'm saying? Like it's cool, bro. It definitely it's a humbling, it's humbling, but then at the same time, it just makes you just want to keep going, just keep
Yeah.
on for real.
Yeah, that's dope. So yeah, I really appreciate you coming on, man. Like this was dope to hear your story, and just have it be heard, you know what I mean? Like in a longer format where like people, I'm sure a lot of your followers will dive into this and
Hmm.
like they could really understand what you went through because they only got bits and pieces of like an Instagram story here or like, oh, he got hurt, oh, he transferred, and a lot of people downplay it. But then when they get to actually hear your story, it's like, holy shit, like this dude went through a lot and like he's still going. So I'm really glad like that, this platform was one for you to share your story. And I'm sure as you progress, like a lot more people will want to have you on their podcast as well. So yeah,
Man,
really appreciate you
I
coming on,
appreciate
man.
you having me, man. Like this is like I said, I seen ever since you followed me. I wanted to get on right when you followed me. I'm pretty sure like I slid up on
Hmm.
something like right when I saw it, I was like, I gotta get on this, man. So I thank you for real. I really appreciate you having me on here, man. Like you got a dope podcast. What you're doing and what you've been through too is inspiring people that you probably have no idea. Like you were just saying to me, it's the same thing for you, bro. So I'm hella appreciative that you had me on here for sure, bro.
Dope. Yeah. Well, good luck in fall camp, bro. And I'll definitely be tuning in this year for watching you for
No, for
sure.
sure. We'll definitely be in touch, bro. I appreciate you.
Yeah, definitely. I got to send you a hoodie too. I you need an XL
Yeah,
or a
XL.
large?
How do they run true to size?
Uh, they run true to size, but they'll shrink. So I think XL should be
Yeah,
all right.
yeah, XL will be smooth.
All right, yeah. Just send me your address and I'll send you one, bro.
Bet I appreciate that, bro.
All right, bro. Appreciate you, man.
All right, man. I will
All
talk
right,
to you.
take care.
All right, bro.
All right.